afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to be riding Old Ida Road, which is also known as Highway 697. It goes from Sherman, Texas to Whitewright, Texas, with the halfway point being Tom Bean, Texas. You can start it at any point. You can start it in Tom Bean and go east or west. You can start it in Whitewright and go west. Or you can start it in Sherman and go east, northeast. I'm starting the ride today at the Sherman Animal Shelter, so let's hit it up. I believe it says this route is 11 miles. It has a lot of turns and some elevation drops and bridges and such, so it takes, I don't know, half an hour or so. But overall, it's a pretty good ride, and it's one of the nicer rides in this area that not a lot of people know about. You can always tell a motorcycle road's going to be a good road the more yellow signs you see. It's always better to scrub off speed before you enter a turn than to go into a turn too hot. Once you enter a turn, you have to commit. You start applying the brakes, and that's when people get into trouble. One of the cool things to see along this ride is a castle. There's a castle coming up. I guess it's somebody's house and they're building it to look like a castle. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool. We're going to take a look at it real quick. Here's the castle, complete with the towers. Since try this again. Since this is the Mike and Ty Ride Bikes channel, there's something that changed in both of our lives recently that I'd like to discuss because I think it's relevant to the motorcycling in general. Both of us ended up dating recently, and seeing as we have a passion for riding motorcycles, when both of us ended up single, one of the questions came up where, would you date a girl who does not ride a motorcycle? Not to say they have to ride a motorcycle, but even to ride on the back of your motorcycle. And I think, as far as my opinion goes, and I think Ty will share the same opinion, it's like anything else in life, whether it's watching movies, reading books, going fishing, whatever the case. If you have a hobby that you spend a lot of time doing and you want to be in a long-term relationship with somebody, chances are you're going to want to spend time doing that hobby with them. Some people pull that off successfully without that. So for example, maybe somebody that's, really religious and their partner's atheist or a different religion or whatever. But when it comes to motorcycling, it's not just something I do maybe on a daily basis or once a week or however long, but more so it's going on long trips. If I want to plan a long trip, each year, and my spouse or girlfriend doesn't want to ride on the back of my motorcycle or ride her own, for that matter. I think that would be a barrier in our communication. I met a man camping last year on one of my road trips, and he was probably in his 80s, still riding around the country by himself. He said that his wife refuses to ride with him, and so he'll tell her his destination and she'll meet him there. She flies there, and then they hang out for a few days, and then she flies home. And they make it work, and that's good for them. I think when it comes to that, though, that's not my type of relationship. I think I would prefer that whoever I'm with share the same hobby as me. Otherwise, I have a tendency not to do that hobby. You end up having to pick between the person that you want to spend time with and the hobby you want to do. This kind of ties into our previous discussion about women who ride bikes or women who ride their own bikes, which I never really fully answered in the video. This is the halfway point. This will go back to Tom Bean. My previous relationship, my wife had her own motorcycle, and it was great. We could carry a kid with each of us and bring 2 kids on a trip. We could pack twice as much equipment. There's definitely pros to that. She still spends time riding, which is one of my favorite hobbies, and she does it with me. So it's actually a bonus or a positive thing. For me, though, I would prefer somebody to ride on the back with me than to have somebody riding their own motorcycle. There's a couple of goats just chilling. The reason I say that is I like that person to be spending time with me, holding on to me, sharing the same experience as me, etc. That's my own personal preference, and we'll talk to Ty and get his side of it.
So my theory on that is depending on where we're going and how far we're going. If we are going in town, I prefer my girlfriend, wife, to ride on my bike because it's just fun that way. But if we're going to go long distance for a couple days and we need to pack a lot of gear, it'll be more reasonable and logical to have 2 bikes because we can carry more stuff, be it clothes, camping gear, presents, whatever, you name it. And it's more enjoyable for her too because she gets to ride and do the scenery and all that other stuff.
What if your girlfriend has a bike and you don't? Would you ride on the back?
The more I think about that question, the more I believe that if I don't have a bike and she has a bike, then I don't have a problem with being the passenger on her bike. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to see it.
What you talking about? If somebody, I don't know of any girls that have their own bike and that are single, and that they're my girlfriend. So yeah, that kind of eliminates a lot of girls and or possibilities.
All right, fair enough. That is the end of this route. We ended up in Whitewright, which again is approximately 11 miles down this road. Sherman to Whitewright. This takes us and ends at Highway 69. I'm going to turn around so we can go back and get some additional shots. You don't have to beg me to ride it again. You could do this all day for free. You can own a motorcycle and ride it once a month, or you can get out there and experience life. Get out there and ride like we do. We're Mike and Ty, and we ride bikes.